Hi guys, welcome to my sewing space. For those who don't know me, my name is Bitumela Pula and this is my channel. On today's video, I'll be showing you how I made this beautiful outfit, the wrap skirt to be specific. I wore this outfit to a colleague's wedding and I made it the day before. The worst decision ever. But while we're here, can we just take a moment to admire the beauty of Africa in the background? Stunning, okay? Okay, let's start the video. On this video, I'll be using this plain off-white fabric, and then from there, I'm going to use lots and lots of binding for decoration. So they come in different colors and sizes. As you can see, I bought black in 3 different sizes. And then these are called shoelace binding. I also got this tribal binding. I think it's very cute. And then I got some buttons as well. And then guys, the total cost for everything, whatever that you see in the video, was 1,063 rands. Yep, it's expensive. Before we dive into sewing, I just want us to first start working on the measurement. So for the skirt, you need your waist circumference, you need your skirt length, and then your band width as well. So here's my measurements. For the waist circumference, I have 100 centimeters, the length 90 centimeters, I'm quite tall, and then the band width I want it to be 5 centimeters. Now guys, remember we are doing a wrap skirt, so then that means there needs to be an overlapping piece in the front. So to work that out, we will take 100 centimeters waist, times it by a quarter, which will give us 25 centimeters. Then we'll add that 25 to the 100 centimeters of the waist circumference, which will then give you a total of 125 centimeters. Hope that makes sense. Here's the 3 easy steps to follow to work out how much of fabric is needed and also to know how we are going to cut it. So you're first going to work out the waist circumference, you're going to work out the total length, and then you're going to work out how much of fabric you need to cut for the skirt part. So step number 1 says we need to work out the waist circumference. Yes, again. So we'll say the waist, we'll take the waist of 125 centimeters and divide that by pi, which the value of that is 3.14. And then our total will be 39.8 centimeters, which is basically 40 centimeters. Okay, so method 2 is similar to this method, just that it's a longer route. So you're going to say your waist of 125 divided by 2 pi, and the value of 2 pi is 6.28, and then your answer will be 19.9. Then you're going to take that answer, times it by 2, and then you will get the ultimate answer of 39.8. which is basically 40 centimeters as the first answer. Sorry, as method 1. And this method will apply for a 180 degrees flare skirt or a half skirt. Now, step number 2. So in step number 2, we need to work out the length of our skirt. So we're going to say length minus the waistband. So that is 90 minus 5 centimeters, and that gives us 85 centimeters. Then we will add the seam allowance to that of 1.5, which gives us a total of 86.5 centimeters, and that is the total length we are going to cut out. On the last step, which is step number 3, this is where you get the rough estimate of how much fabric you're going to cut. I know the waistband is not included, but yeah, you just take step number 1 and step number 2, you get your answer, and that's how much fabric you will basically need to buy around there. Just a little demonstration. Assuming that this is your main fabric, this is how you will fold it and lay it down for cutting. Then you'll take your measuring tape and mark your waistline. Mine is at 40 centimeters. And then you'll also mark the length, Mine is 126 centimeters. So this is how you will use your tape. From the top, you measure the waistline, and that's 40. And then again, for the length, from the top, you go down to 126. Once you're happy with your measurements, you will then grab your pair of scissors and cut out the waistline as well as the length. And this is how your skirt should look like when you open it up. That's your waistline, and that is the bottom part of the skirt. Now that we have all the measurements that we need, we can start with the real thing now. So I've got my main fabric, and this is how I'm gonna fold it, as you saw earlier on. So you first make out the waistline, which is what I'm doing. Guys, I'm so sorry I didn't realize that I would be out of focus, but you did see earlier on what I did. Then you do the same thing for the bottom, and that is for your skirt length. This is my lining that I'm going to use for my project. I know that I didn't mention it earlier on when I show you guys what I'm going to need. So that's my main fabric, and this is a pongee lining. I cut out the same measurements as the main fabric. You know what, guys? I just want you to hear what I go through all the time when I try to sew. So this is my waistband. Huh?
My knee hurts.
Huh?
My knee hurts.
Your knee hurts.
Yes.
Excuse. OCD ka sa. Excuse. Hi, anyway, where were we? This is my waistband. I will cut out my thickness at 12 centimeters, and then the length will be, I think, 240 centimeters. Yeah, I'll just write it on the screen. It was quite long. Well, it is quite long, but hey, the longer, the better.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Okay, so that is the waistband. Take your waistband and fold it in half, long ways, exposing the wrong side. Then you box that corner and stop maybe at about 50 centimeters on both sides. The seam allowance that you will use is 1 centimeter seam allowance. So after boxing, we have to snip the collars before we flip the band. Guys, you may even secure or reinforce that edge with a straight stitch, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. You see that pink line there? That's my original stitch line. So you can go over that line again or just 1 millimeter above it.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Flip your waistband over and carefully push your corners out. You may use a point turner, or if you don't have one like me, you can use a ruler. Just don't use something that will damage your fabric like a sharp object or a pen. So rather use a ruler, it's much safer. That's my waistband with 2 closed corners and a massive opening in the center. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Before I even start handling this fabric, I just want you to see something. As you can see, this fabric frays a lot, so I'm just gonna go there with an overlocker or a zigzag rather, just to close it on the edges to avoid fraying. And then I will come in with my bindings and decorate my skirt. I'm going to use all these. So all these that I showed you earlier, I'm going to use them, and I'm very excited about that. As to how the decoration will start or how it's gonna go, I don't know. I'm just literally just gonna go with the flow. Whether we'll start with pink or black, just watch. So here we are with the pink binding. I am second row in. Guys, please be aware that I did not start the first row closer to the edge because I needed to leave space for the seam allowance. This is basically how you start a new row. So you will place your binding 1 to 2 millimeters over the previous row. So doing this, you are preventing the unwanted gaps in between the binding like that one between the first one and the second row that I did. So as you can see, there's that white part that's showing. I'm going to go in with this tribal binding. It is quite thicker and harder than these plain ones, or the colored ones rather, but then the same rules apply. 1 to 2 millimeters over the previous row. I'm sure you guys have noticed by now that I've been stitching the upper edge of the binding and not the bottom. But you can do both. It's completely up to you. I just chose to do the upper edge only, and it worked out just fine, mainly because time was not on my side. So yeah, I did only the upper part and I just left it like that. A lot more bindings later, that's how my skirt looks like. I've also ironed it down just to press the bindings flat. I know the rows are not perfect, but guys, I tried. They're not straight, but I tried honestly. It was definitely not easy. I'm going to attach this lining now to my skirt. Now the reason why I'm doing this lining to the skirt is that I just want to conceal all that mess that you see. You see how untidy that is? I don't like that. So I'm going to attach my lining, and this is how I will place it over the fabric. Like always, right sides together and pin that down. Now guys, this step is very necessary, trust me. You know, pongee lining is quite slippery, and the fact that we cut our fabric on bias doesn't make things easier. So pin, pin, pin. I've sewn my skirt all around, and then the only thing now that is still open is the waistline, of which I'm intending to close now with a zigzag. The only reason why I'm doing that is just that I just want it to be easy to handle when I attach my waistband, which is the next step. I have just ironed my waistband just to keep it flat before I attach it to the skirt. Grab your waistband and attach the opening to the edge of the waistline. So you will attach the right side of the waistband to that of the skirt. So right sides together. You will pin all that around to the other side of and sew.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
This is where we are now. I have attached the one side of the waistband. Now I'm going to close that. I'm going to close all the edges in, fold the waistband in, and top stitch that. On your waistband, you will take your dressmaking pencil and mark where you need your buttonhole to go.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
And the last step now is to just cut that hole open, and that will be it, guys. Sorry I didn't add the buttons there at the bottom, but that's pretty much it. I'm done with my wrap skirt. You can also add the buttons there at the bottom just to decorate and add some detail. I had fun doing this skirt. I hope you guys will try it out. I had so much fun, especially playing with the different colors of the bindings. It was so much fun. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share the link with friends if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Re tla bonana.